Welcome to the Blue Cafe. Today we have part 2 of the sad, yet hopeful tale. My wife, my first love, and best friend unexpectedly has been cheating on me. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Now, onto the story. It's all starting to make sense now. This is the closure I need. Post-separation. I have seen a therapist a couple of times and I wanted to share some of the deep revelations I have started having about my discard and post-breakup. For reference, my therapist strongly thinks my stbxw has borderline personality disorder, BPD. Here is the sequence of events of what happened. March 2021, I find out there is a job opportunity across the country and I ask her if she would be okay with this move. She was totally on board and, I thought, excited. This was unexpected and very sudden, but a great opportunity for me. Shortly after, I had a week-long work trip to California. Because of her trust issues I always agreed to text her often and be in contact constantly while at my work trips, but this one seemed strange. She didn't really respond as much and seemed distant when I reached out. Red flag number 1. I didn't think anything of it until I found out she had booked a hotel room and a campground for 2 people while I was gone. Yep, the discard had begun. April to May 2021, she kept starting an argument that didn't make any sense to me. She kept asking me for more money to fly more often at her flight school. She already was getting 3 hours of flight time per week. I didn't understand why, because she was doing fine and reaching her goals. Also, she didn't contribute monetarily to the family, so this would have to come out of my paycheck. Red flag number 2. June 2021, she was taking trips out of town almost every weekend and I found that she had started to have long phone conversations late at night with her new source, her flight instructor. She became incredibly distant as well and didn't do any of the tasks around the house. I had to cook, clean, do laundry, wash dishes, take out trash, everything. She also mentioned in a couple's small group at our church about how we almost called off our wedding a couple of years back. I was like, we did? It was like she was trying to justify the fact that we shouldn't be together anymore to everyone and that there were long-standing problems. We never talked about having to call off our wedding. She was rewriting our history. Red flag number 3. July 2021, this is when everything unraveled. 4th of July weekend I sat down with her, and part of our couple's small group was to affirm the other person. She had missed the previous small group, so I said we could do the affirmation exercise at home. I told her all the great qualities I loved about her and that she was respected, loved, and valued as my partner. We then talked some more after that and I eventually told her that I didn't feel loved or cared for lately in the past few weeks. All her typical love languages had dried up and she really didn't show me anything. She got defensive and sad and turned it around on me, saying if only I paid more for her flight training she would feel more loved towards me. Huge BPD. Red flag number 4. She also reassured me that she will always love me and that I shouldn't feel unloved. Mid-July is when she broke and left home and I was left to take care of all the responsibilities while she took a mental break from reality. You can read more about that debacle here. August 2021, I found out about her affair with her flight instructor. I confronted her about it. She had no intention of handling the situation like an adult and stormed away, blocked me on everything. Then I served her with divorce papers. She had already discarded me, but this triggered her BPD rage even more because I had foiled her plan to slip away unnoticed with her new man while I flailed aloof. She did all the things you would expect, talked to the cops, called my work, and used the dog as a reason to contact me. At the time, if I knew she had BPD, I would have probably been better prepared, but her actions post-divorce service were so childish and immature and I found out so much about her family and her mom's possible BPD that everything is now making sense and coming to light. September 2021, I saw her a couple of times while transferring the dog. She has stopped flight training. This was her whole reason for divorcing me, that I wasn't supporting her flying. However, I never stopped her from flying. Now she realizes she can't do it without my support. I keep my boundaries and distance around her because she is a toxic individual. October 2021, I am in a much better space now. I have incredible friends and family who have really helped me through the worst period of my entire life. I am moving soon, without her, and the divorce will be finalized soon, so I can move on into my new life. I wanted to write this as a cradle-to-grave example of a BPD discard and typical traits of someone like this. They will lie to you, make up arguments not based in reality, and gaslight the hell out of you. I spent months trying to understand what I was doing wrong and why she was acting this way until I started talking to a therapist and journaling things down. This disease is horrible and I am now uncovering ways she has manipulated me in our relationship, and the love bombing phase. It's clear she tried to hide her BPD many times throughout our past, but this couldn't go on forever. This divorce is for the best, and thank God I am getting out before anything worse happens. Now that you have closure of sorts, you see her for what she truly is and can leave her behind. But never forget that even if she really does have BPD, it doesn't change that she still willingly cheated on you. Go complete North Carolina indefinitely. Leave nothing for her to go back to. Live your life and open a new page to your next chapter. Good luck, my dude. Thanks. It is much easier to put this behind me now that I am moving. I can start fresh and leave this toxicity behind. She put you through a heavy level of toxicity, my dude. I'm glad to see that you are finally freeing yourself. You deserve peace. I am so glad to hear how you are progressing. For you, this is a journey about finding out about her BPD and how it affected you. But for me, this is a journey about you, how your own partner disregarded you, wanted to leave you and make you suffer. A journey about you, standing up again, not allowing her to get the better of you, and finally about you starting to move on and having an outlook into a brighter future. Your journey is far from over and I am looking forward to how you will develop. Be proud of yourself for being who and where you are. I wish you all the best. Thank you, I really appreciate all your help through this entire process. I will be forever grateful because you have helped me through the darkest period of my entire life. That is what we are here for, and I am happy that you got through this. No matter how much help you got, in the end it was you who was taking the necessary steps. So be proud of yourself. And then also look forward to what comes next, look forward to your move and the new chapter of your life. I hope that it will be filled with cheer and laughter. My ex was very similar, even post D-Day. She has BPD and bipolar. Every now and then she reminds me she still has something of mine. Whenever I make arrangements to pick it up, she's either sick or going through something. We are not anything special to them. They lump us in with everyone else they believe ruined their lives. Good job with the divorce papers. I presented mine immediately after I found out. She was shocked and honestly believed she could sleep around for 6 months and come back once it was out of her system. That's what I'm trending to believe she has, both BP and BPD. In our case though, I haven't ruined her life and she knows it. She has done all the self-destructing. Hello op. I'm sorry you're going through with this. My wayward spouse, WS, also has borderline personality disorder that wasn't revealed to me until shortly after I found out about her multiple affairs. I was aware of her bipolar disorder, and other issues, but when she finally told me about her BPD and reading up on it, it went a long way towards explaining our history, or at least contributing towards it. The level of manipulation is way off the charts. If you ever need to reach out to someone for any reason, feel free to DM me. I've relied on the kindness and compassion of strangers a few times here since my D-Day a little over a month ago, and I wouldn't underestimate its helping effect. All the best to you. Do you know if she's going to get help or something like that? Has she had any outbursts against you or any negative attitude towards you after the last time you spoke to her in person? You could say that you dodged a bullet, but the bullet did hit you, so that saying doesn't work. So you dodged a shooting. I ask each time if she is seeing any help and her answer is usually, I'm just too busy. At least it isn't the "you're abusive to me because you think I'm crazy" that she did previously when I asked her to seek help. I've learned to set some serious boundaries. She did try blaming me for taking her from a well-paying job to move with me to Florida, and that was taking advantage of her. But I was the one who offered long distance first, and she screamed at that idea, saying I should just break up with her. She practically begged me to bring her with me when we moved to FL. So I shut down that argument ASAP and told her that we wouldn't be discussing that further. She's very hot and cold. The last time we talked she was nice and cordial. Previous to that she texted and said, "I'm in a bad mood and don't want to sit around and chat." I know now that I am not the cause of her bad mood, and AP now has to deal with that crap. I'm not even sure if they are still seeing each other honestly since she stopped flight training. Has she apologized or not yet? I don't think she will see the AP, because if she didn't, she would at least have something related to the flight, but she is not. It is no longer your problem if she decides to go for help. Once the divorce is over, what will you do? North Carolina? Or will you keep talking to her? She has only once briefly apologized like this, paraphrasing, "Someday you will meet someone who is right for you. I'm sorry I couldn't be her." I responded and told her she was always the person for me, she just couldn't see it. This was confusing because I always affirmed her and told her how much I loved her and that she was my person and best friend. This is definitely evidence of someone with low self-esteem who does not love themselves enough. I will certainly not try and reach out. If she wants to contact me, I will respond. When I tried North Carolina after serving her the papers, she went nuts, and that's when she went to the cops/my work to get in contact with me. I don't want that happening again, especially in a new town, so I will keep it status quo like it has been the last couple months. It's been much better for me. This probably goes without saying, but don't give her your new address that you're moving to. Have her send anything through the lawyer's office. She probably won't try anything, but just to be safe. Well, I wish you the best and that it turns out as you wish. I am glad you got closure and you are done. She was a nightmare. Hope you have figured out you can't buy love. And anyone who is with you because their hand is in your wallet is not a partner worth having. I know how expensive flying is, and that whole flying thing is just beyond the pale. If my son wanted to do this, I would be supportive, yes. Because I know it's fun. But in my next breath I would be telling him to get a couple new jobs to finance it. I would also tell him seeing it as a career move was a waste of time. He could never afford enough hours to be a competitive candidate for a job. Might be a hot take, but I don't think you need a label to justify what she is. You seem adamant on her having BPD, even with only a therapist considering it. It just comes off as you need some explanation for her actions, and you easily accepted her having BPD as an answer. A horrible person with low morals doesn't need to have a mental disorder to be a bad person. They could just be bad. When you try to justify their actions with a disorder, you're giving them an out, excuse. Look, I may be wrong in this specific situation, but people these days try to justify everything with some psychological, mental condition. Being a bad person, having differing personalities, or doing things different doesn't mean you have a disorder. I hear you, man, but it's almost like you have to be there to see it. Her decisions are not sane or rational, the self-destruction, the manipulation, and the crazy look in her eyes is totally a mental disorder. I've never met someone before who has a mental illness, but now I know what it looks like, and she is checking off every single trait. I was of the same belief as you, believing that people need to take personal responsibility, but this stuff is beyond human comprehension. Damn, in that case. She's crazy. Get yourself as far away from her as possible. Yeah man, I spent months logically trying to figure out what would make her do this and came up with nothing. It makes no sense whatsoever. Just putting this out there for other souls who are wondering the same thing. What would someone with BPD want from me in this situation? Relationships. Long story short, my stbxw, who I and my therapist strongly believes has upped, has gone from absolutely loving and caring about me to suddenly ghosting, cheating, and become very hateful towards me. It has been a whirlwind of emotions to say the least, but it has helped to learn about the disorder and do research to help my healing and at least gain some understanding. For reference, she left a very secure and loving relationship with me, financially, emotionally, and physically, to cheat with someone who is none of those things, and no one can believe what she is doing. She still portrays herself as fine, but it is obvious to everyone on the outside, including her parents and our mutual friends, that she is self-destructing. Even though we are going through a divorce she asked for, I still care about her and I don't want her to go to an even worse place. Her father and I have both suggested she seek a psychiatrist, but that triggered her symptoms even more. I wanted to post on this sub instead of the BPD support sub to try and gain a perspective on what, if anything, someone with BPD would want right now. I am leaning towards going no contact, but when I did that a few weeks back, she went to the cops, who didn't do anything, and called my work trying to get a hold of me. I am currently trying to keep the status quo, but even in our short texting convos she says I ticked her off when all I did was suggested we talk about the divorce proceedings beforehand. I just really need some insight on what she is feeling because it feels like I am trapped, and everything I try either hurts me or her, or the both of us. I know everyone is different and I'm so sorry that you guys have to deal with this disease. It is horrible to say the least. She definitely had a quiet BPD and one day it just all exploded into this massive mess that we have now. I know we can't get back together, but I'm just trying to do damage control here. Oof, this is a difficult one. I think there's this weird mix going on here of definitely wanting the attention, not meant negatively, but just that she called you at work and stuff, but also pushing everyone away. She may want both at the same time, which can be very confusing to feel. I think you can tell her that you're willing to be there for her, but if she doesn't want you to be around anymore, then that's okay too. Or that she can come back for support if she wants it. Then just let her be for a bit. If she's really set on self-destructing, I don't think you can really stop her. And that's what I would want, I think. To just go off the deep end for a bit, and climb out again eventually, knowing there's support somewhere out there. Of course, she and I are completely different people, so she might not feel this way. I get that you care about her, but she also hurt you a lot, I think. She's going through some shit right now, but you also need to think about yourself, too. Stuff like this is toxic. This disorder is ass. Feel free to walk away for a bit if it gets too much for you, or go no contact if you can't take it anymore. Please take care of yourself, and best of luck. Thanks, I really appreciate your response. I don't think we can ever go back to where we were before all of this, but I am strong enough to be there for her as a friend afterwards. It's so strange to me, because I have never hated or had anyone hate me before, not that I know of. I'm pretty easy to get along with and I care a lot, almost too much. All my romantic relationships have ended amicably and I don't have ill feelings towards any of them, and I loved and cared about my wife more than I have anyone else before. The paradox of caring for her so much and her treating me worse than anyone in my life before is absolutely mind-boggling and it just hurts bad. Yeah, I'm so sorry this happened. This disorder really just sucks. I really hope your and hers situation improves. Wish you the best, friend. How did you find out you had BPD? What convinced you to seek help? Person without BPD. I am having an issue with my wife, likely PWBPD, currently, in that she very clearly has many BPD symptoms and even her father, my therapist, and others have noticed these things and suggested she seek professional help. However, as I'm sure you all know, there is an intense struggle in her mind to accept it and seek help. She denies that anything is wrong and gets mad at me when I suggest BPD, saying that by suggesting she has BPD I am calling her names. I don't try to diagnose it as I am obviously not a professional, but I have received professional opinions and the overwhelming consensus is BPD and/or BP. My question to you all is, what eventually convinced you that you had BPD, or what helped get you to a therapist? I finally moved across the country away from her. Update. It's been a while since I, 27M, last posted an update on my situation, but I have finally been able to move from Florida to California and start fresh. One of the things I have really been reflecting on is the destructiveness of her, 29F, infidelity. We had an awesome house in Florida with a dog in a great neighborhood. She decided to blow all of that up, and now she is living in a crappy house that her parents bought her, in a worse area of town and with a much lower quality of life. I am currently living with a roommate in California until I find out what happens with the divorce settlement. I finally realized it wasn't worth discussing the divorce settlement, as she would initially want to come to an agreement, then would back out and decide to trust her lawyer and ask for $120,000 after being married for 2.5 years. It was all very frustrating and unproductive for me, because I was again trying to believe that she was her former loving self, not this vitriolic, deceitful, and lying person. I am now able to spot the lies and manipulation much easier now, but I have realized it isn't worth putting myself in that position anymore. My hope is that we can settle at mediation in December, but I am even skeptical of that coming to a conclusion now. I really appreciate all the help I have received from this group. I never wish what I have had to go through on any person. My stbxw went from an incredible person who I loved deeply to a shadow of her former self who is a liar, cheater, and very angry person. Unfortunately, the other day one of my friends showed me her Facebook, which I am blocked on, and she has been posting passive-aggressively about emotional abuse and how you just have to leave the relationship when you are being emotionally abused. This is the exact opposite of who I was in our relationship, and it hurt deeply to see that, especially since she never once told me I was emotionally abusive or even communicated that she had any issues with me. I've come to realize that she is rewriting our history for others, all the more reason to go no contact. I wish I never would have seen what she has been posting, it really hurt me deeply, but I won't let it keep affecting me now that I know more about who she truly is. All the times sitting with her when she was emotional over little things and listening to her issues while trying to calm her down are now worthless. She never was going to change. She has a personality disorder that will never get better unless she decides to get help. I don't know what the future will bring, but I know this chapter in my life will soon be closed and I can move forward into the next one. If anyone is dealing with someone like this, get out ASAP. They have the emotional maturity of a 4-year-old, project their problems onto you, and are unable to accept the responsibility of their actions. When the snake bites you, you don't keep your hand in the cage. Her life sucks now and she's using the settlement to stay connected to you and to bring the misery she's feeling to your life. Stay North Carolina, don't read anything of hers and let your lawyer earn their retainer. Great advice. Thanks for the update. I'm glad that you're moving on with your life. Best of luck with the mediation. With you leaving the state, you will not be seeing any of the people who might buy her BS, so don't worry about it. She will continue to act out until someone calls her on it. Fortunately, you won't have to help pick up the pieces when this happens and she needs/wants help. I have been reading up on her shit. I truly hope that the final stretch is without any more pain for you. I can understand why you want to shake the dust off from this disaster. Enjoy the new location. Good of you to finally get out of that shithole of a relationship. I'll keep my response short. A fresh start includes not receiving updates of what she's doing. Also, if people in your circle keep trying to update you on her going-ons, kindly ask them to stop completely. No matter how bad the storm gets, the sun will still shine on you at the end of it all. Keep well, strong, and always improve on yourself, Bop. High props and jets. I've followed you from the beginning of your first post. I'm happy that now you had moved forward. Now, away from all her st, you can truly heal. You are young and you will be able to find peace and happiness. Fella, luckily you have left the mess behind. What you see now is what she is, someone unwilling to seek treatment and enabled by her parents. She will continue to mask who she is at the cost of her mental health and those involved with her. You are an escapee. I wish you all the best. You must come to the realization that the stbxw is mentally ill and things will only get worse in time if she doesn't seek treatment. Her parents aren't helping and they will soon see the error of their ways when she goes into another manic phase and you won't be around to place the blame on. I'm glad you are out of state and physically separated from her. Notify your friends that you do not want updates on her life. Not your circus, not your monkeys. If these friends do not accept this, please consider a new friend group. Work with your lawyer to get this resolved as amicably as possible. You need to be free of this mess. 120k for 2.5 years of marriage? Lol. Be prepared for her to drag this out. Desperate, mentally ill people do desperate, crazy things. Wishing you the best. You deserve much better and will get it. Best of luck. Keep us updated. 120k for 2 years? You must make some serious bank. Not really, that's why it is so ridiculous. Addition by subtraction. Keep up the good work. Very happy to hear you have set in motion to move across the country to get away from stbxw/which, her broom will not be able to transport that far. Ton of great women out there who are hoping to find a guy like yourself. Head up and just move past the shit show you had to endure. Good luck in your new life. Sadly, it's not enough that she blew up the old one, but she now has to punish you for moving on and leaving her in a misery existence of her own making. Well, maybe one day when she hits rock bottom, she will finally own up to what she's done and get the help she needs. In the meantime, remember, you can't control the actions of others, you can only control how you react to a given situation. Just put it all behind you and forget what she's doing. For whatever it's worth, sooner or later she will grow weary of it and stop. Leave her in her own misery, my dude. She put you through hell. Best thing to continue to do is allow her to live on her own, while you move on with both North Carolina and the reality that you have your life back. Relish that, dude. I'm just glad to see that you have found the strength to moving on. You have better days ahead. You have all the time in the world. Rule well, my dude, rule well. And good luck to you. Good for you, sir. Do not look back. You will eventually find someone else, someone better. Too bad she can't be convinced to get treatment, because I know there's still a part of you that cares for her deeply. What you aren't seeing right now is that pretty much everyone knows that social media is used by many for validation and narrative control. People worth being friends with will see the truth, and those that fall for the lies aren't worth keeping around. Besides that, like we've talked about before, you've got to get busy living, so you don't need to be concerned with what your ex and her friends are up to. Let them live their lives, while you build something better for yourself. You'll look back in a few years and realize that this was a turning point in your life, the point where pain and misery shaped you into someone stronger than you were before. That strength will lead you to a better life, just be patient. This is great. I needed to hear it. Congrats. No more Florida man moments in your life. I thought you last said she was shacked up with the affair partner. What happened to all that? I don't know, I don't care anymore. I know they still work together, but I am unsure how that relationship is going. We hope you have enjoyed this 2-part episode. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.